Have you ever noticed the way banks celebrate their kills? This is one of dozens of Wells Fargo branches on and around Market Street in San Francisco. But if you look closely, you can see the bones of the institution that built the building. I love capitalism, but I do not like the U.S. banking system. These two statements do not contradict each other. In 2008, the too-big-to-fail banks almost killed us. Everybody has their favorite explanation for the crisis, but nobody disputes the structural issue that faced U.S. regulators in the fall of 2008. Things went haywire, banks started failing, and we had a problem. Banks that screw up should fail. That's capitalism, or how it should work anyway. The problem was that U.S. and world banking entities had gotten too big to fail. If they failed, they'd take the whole system with them. So, they had to be saved. The necessary measures in 2008 and 2009 made the too-big-to-fail problem worse, though. The banks got bigger. Wells Fargo, in particular, made out like a bandit, scooping up the remnants of Wachovia, a bank that was just small enough to fail. Once the crisis passed, we took a look at what we could do. The answer Washington, D.C. gave us was the Dodd-Frank Act. It was supposed to help with the too-big-to-fail problem, but it also did about 1 million other things. In 22,000 pages of regulation, it tackled every problem under the sun. It certainly made the business of banking less attractive. I'm no expert, but I wouldn't be surprised if it also made a lot of other economic activity harder as well. One thing is not in dispute. Dodd-Frank made the too-big-to-fail problem worse. Every bank in the world now needed a couple Wall Street lawyers to comply with all these new regulations. The bigger a bank was, the better it was going to be at complying with all these new rules. The few provisions in Dodd-Frank that actually hit big banks, like the Volcker Rule, have been implemented slowly and against all the roadblocks that teams of lawyers can throw up. The legislation has been great at protecting big banks from competition. Many smaller banks, who can't afford the necessary Wall Street lawyers, have given up and closed. So Dodd-Frank completely failed to address the main problem. The stock markets have been surging lately, largely on the expectation that Trump will do away with the Dodd-Frank reforms. 5 of the 30 firms that make up the Dow Jones Industrial Average are financial firms, and they're all surging. This may lead to some short-term economic growth, but it's worth taking a second look. Dodd-Frank protected too-big-to-fail banks throughout the Obama years. Trump may take the leash off and let these banks go crazy. This leaves us in the same position we were in the early 2000s, but worse. The banks are bigger, and they have less competition. The structural problems are all still there, and they are getting bigger. So yeah, the dancing days are here again. The economy seems to be surging, and San Francisco is a new tallest building going up south of Market. But we should all be very, very worried about the foundations. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And you might also want to consider signing up for my email newsletter. I've got some non-YouTube stuff coming up soon, and the email list is the best way to hear about it. Thanks.